And some days I'd wake up with such big anxiety inside of me because I'm like, dude, you have to become successful. You have to make your sister proud. You have to do something. You're not going to college. You're simply just a fucking dumbass. Do something with yourself. Like, you have to become successful on your own. Good morning, guys. It's currently 6:30 a.m. Look at it outside. It is frosty out here in upstate New York, man. I'm outside with my shirt off. But we're about to go in the car. And I'm about to tell you my life story. Yeah. Let's let's listen to Ryan's life story, because this is gonna be, I think, a hectic, inspiring story for a lot of you young guys out there. All right, let's do it. Okay, guys, welcome to my life story. So if you're new to the channel, my name is Ryan Johnson. I'm 21 years old. I run an online coaching business. I started off at social media, like becoming an influencer, and I'd started doing bodybuilding shows like a year and a half ago, and I just helped out other people change their lives. I guess that's what you would say I'm currently doing. But yeah, I'm just a young dude chasing his dreams, dude. I love bodybuilding, bro. I love self-improvement. I love self-development. It's my life's purpose. You know, I literally have a sheet of paper in my room that says, like, the greatest version of myself. Like, what I believe to be the person I want to become, or I want to, like, dedicate my life towards, at least the next 10 years, is, you know, to become the best bodybuilder I can become. So get fucking jacked. Go do some more shows. Become the best coach and mentor I can become. So, like, a world-class coach, a world-class mentor, especially for young men. So helping them just kind of, like, break out the common day system and actually be, like, a good guide for them, because there's a lot of men trying to lead, but I don't think a lot of them lead exactly by example. So I want to become that change as well. And to become a good father and husband as well. You know, by 25, I would love to, you know, be starting a family, get married. Finding a girl in this generation, though, is like finding a needle in a haystack, I will tell you that. It's funny, I actually had to re-download Snap this morning to go download some photos to edit something. So, like, old photos from my camera roll, or what do you call it? Memories. And I real quick take a look at Snap Map just to see how many people stayed up late, because it's Halloween weekend, and it's Sunday morning, and it's 6:30 a.m. And everyone's Snap Up was like, active 2 hours ago, active 3 hours ago. And I'm like, bro, you're in your 20s, bro, and you're still staying up till 3, 4 a.m., probably chasing tail, probably chasing just some fucking bullshit. You know, man, this is the time to work towards your fucking dreams. But I used to be like that. But, you know, let's get going on the story. I want to go over how I grew up, the things I went through, like the big pivotal moments in my life that truly changed my life, man. So, I'm from upstate New York. I will first say that. Upstate New York, Rochester, if you guys know what Rochester is. You may know Buffalo Bills. You may know Syracuse. It's orange, I forget. But, like, Post Malone came from Syracuse. These three cities in upstate New York, they're like I'd say pretty popular cities. But they kind of fucking suck, I will tell you that. Especially Rochester, there's a lot of lazy people I've noticed who just talk, but really don't do nothing. So yeah, you know, growing up, what was the family situation like? My family situation was quite weird, man. So I grew up in this farmhouse, okay? So this house was built in the 1800s. It was built, like, right when my town was found. Like, Rush is the actual town I grew up in. It was a very small town outside of, like, a bigger town. Henrietta is what it would be called. So, like, the city's Rochester, then there's all these little towns. Henrietta is quite a bigger town. And then Rush was, like, this kind of, like, far out town. It was like 20 minutes away from Henrietta. And I grew up in this little farmhouse. Now, there was a neighborhood around me. It was a small neighborhood of, like, 20 houses. It was literally just a square neighborhood with, like, cornfields in the front, to the side, to the right, and even to the back. But it was, like, a small neighborhood. And this was the first house built in that neighborhood. Again, it was built, like, 1800s. It was this old, creaky house, man. You know, the basement always used to fucking scare me, because it was literally built of cobblestone. And there was just, like, so many cobwebs and white spiders down there, like spiders with mold on them, dude. They, like, just thinking about it scares me. I hope there's fucking none in here. Oh, dude, I hate spiders. But yeah, it was this old creaky house. It was fucking, you know, it was kind of fucking, yeah, it was interesting to grow up in. one vivid thing I remember is when I first went to go like hang out with friends when I was like 11, 12 years old. Is like I went to my friends' houses and they were so nice, and that's like one of the first things I remember in my life is just like being envious of other people, because like I grew up in this kind of like I'm grateful for it, but like kind of like very far away from everybody in this really cheap house. I think my dad bought it for like 50 grand or some shit. And I remember at a young age, I was just envious of other people a lot, dude, a lot, because I felt like I was born with really bad cards. Um, but yeah, growing up in this house, my parents, they were never together. They got married when I was like, well, they didn't get married, but they got engaged when I was like one, but it just never ended up working out. Um, and like but they stayed together for me. Okay, that's one thing they did do is they stayed together in the same house for me, and my mom rented a room. So it was kind of a weird dynamic because like I had two parents, but they didn't get along, but they like didn't really love each other. So growing up, I always saw my parents together, but I never saw the love between them. I kind of just saw fighting all the time. That was quite fucking strange. Constant arguments and so on. um and I had four siblings. I have three now. We'll go into that later. I had four siblings. Okay, I had two stepbrothers, or what do you want to call them? Half step. They would be step because they have different parents, I believe. No, they would be half. They'd be half. Okay, so I had a half sister and a half brother on my dad's side, and I had a half sister and a half brother on my mom's side. But they were all 7 to 13 years older than me, right? Like my oldest brother and my oldest sister, they're in their like mid 30s, late 30s, I think. I was actually an accident. I wasn't supposed to happen. Again, because I was 7 years later than my youngest siblings. My youngest brother, he's like 28 now. Yeah, he's 28. So they didn't actually want to have me. They didn't actually want to have another kid. So I was a little bit of an accident, but they stayed together to make it work out. And yeah, I just experienced a lot of, my siblings coming and going, and I kind of felt like an only child growing up. And I just, saw a lot of fighting, and as I got older, it just got worse and worse. I think as I got older, they kind of were doing what they actually wanted to do, which was split up. At 15 years old is when they finally split up and we finally moved out of that house. But I did have a lot of good experiences growing up. I played a lot outside. We had a big yard, and my parents loved me. They didn't love each other, but they loved me. They gave me like a lot of love. So even though I saw a lot of fighting, a lot of hate, they loved me with all of their heart. You know, um, my mom was so kind to me, and one thing was that she was an alcoholic. She still is. I'm trying to help her out with that. That's why I still live at home at the moment, because I care for my mother. And yeah, I've had to help her out a lot recently. But yeah, I saw my mom being an alcoholic growing up, and I just saw her getting wasted some nights, and she would fall asleep on the couch, and I just saw some like really sad things that would kind of hurt me, and you know. My dad, on the other hand, he had like anger issues growing up, so I had to deal with that, and I was definitely scared of my dad. My dad definitely did scare me, but it was good because he really instilled a lot of good things in me. Even though he didn't lead by example, there was a lot of good wisdom he gave me. He sparked my imagination when I was young. Like, he did a lot of good things with me. We got into flying like RC planes when I was young, like 9 years old, which are radio controlled airplanes. So it's like these very small airplanes that you fly with electric engines and shit like that. And so we got into that hobby for a couple of years, and I used to actually like build my own. Like, we would buy foam, we would carve up the foam, we would put it together, glue it together, we'd put the engines and the batteries in it. And he really sparked kind of like this creativity in me, because he did things for me like that, and he would always like allow me to take apart like junk, like computers, and I don't know, I just like to take apart junk when I was young and then like put it back together or build certain things. I was just a builder, dude. I was really, my mind was like, I don't know, I just like creating things. That's really all I like doing. Oh, guys, it's fucking cold out here. Holy shit. Okay, yeah, but I just like building things when I was young. And so, I remember from like 9 to like 13 years old, I had this really creative imagination. I used to mod video games. Like, I tried building my own video game. I got into video games when I was young, like 6 years old. I played a lot of Minecraft, a lot of PlayStation and stuff like that, with my brother here and there, because he would come around here and there. So I was really into video games as well. I didn't quit video games until I was like 17 years old, I think. So video games were a big part of my life growing up, man. I used to love racing on Forza and stuff like that. We had this whole like steering wheel setup in our living room. But I want to jump to kind of when things kind of started in my life, because I was a kid up until like I was 13, you know. So I lived this alright childhood up until like 13. And at 13 years old, I found myself like real lonely, like kind of like sad, you know. I remember at like 12, I think I went through my first stage of depression, because I would honestly be asleep at nights and just like, I don't think this way anymore, but like I would think about like jumping out my window. I don't know why. I was just like really kind of, I had something in me, some type of anger in me, some type of hatred towards life in me, to be quite honest with you. And I think that just came from feeling very different from other kids, honestly. When I'd be at school, I'd get really envious of other kids because I was just a skinny kid. I lived so far away from school. I felt like everyone had it off better. I felt like I always missed out on things. I felt like I never fit in either. And because of that, I got into this friend group at 13 years old. And yeah, we started out going to trampoline parks every Friday. And the first time I went to the trampoline park with this kind of friend group, I ended up going to this kid's house after. And that's when he bust out this vape. Okay? He busts out this vape after his parents go to bed. And this is my first time fucking vaping at 13 years old. And I just like, I don't know why, I just felt so cool. And this is like the first time I ever got myself into like a friend group that I felt like I fit in with. It felt cool, right? Before that, I was just this kind of like lonely kid living far away from school, just playing video games, not really having many friends. So I got myself in this friend group, and I was vaping that weekend. And it was cool. And then he was like, yo, dude, do you want to smoke weed? And I'm like, weed? Fuck yeah, let's do it. I was like curious. I'm like, what is this shit? So the next weekend, we do the same thing. We go to Altitude, okay? And I get money from my dad. And somehow we were figuring out ways to sneak in. Like our parents would all give us like 20, $30 to get into Altitude, which is a trampoline park, like I said. And we would somehow sneak in and take that money and like buy weed with it, like buy $100, $120 worth of weed from like the seniors. And then we all got together at this other kid's house, like fucking like 8, 9 of us. It was a lot. And they bought a lot of weed. They rolled up joints after the parents went to bed. We went out in the backyard into this field and fucking smoked, dude. And I didn't get high the first time, but I got like this body high. And we did the same exact shit the next weekend. But this time, we went out to like a school field. Because he lived right by the school, so we took a little walk out of the school field. And this is the first time I actually got really fucking high. I remember we had this like Gatorade fucking bottle, and there was like a pen in it, and it was like a fucking bong basically. And so I hit this shit, and it turns like milky fucking yellow. And I remember just hitting that fucking smoke, and then like waking up a minute later and just screaming like I thought I fucking died, bro. Like literally, I thought I fucking died, and I was scared shitless for my life, and I was tripping out and shit like that. But that finally like weared off, and that was like the craziest experience, to be 13 years old and like kind of like experience some type of ego death, because dude, I literally thought I fucking died, bro. Like I was so fucking high. And then I just got fucking addicted to it after that, because it was like the first time in my life I had friends where I kind of like found an identity is the best way to put it. And we just started doing the same shit every single fucking weekend for like 2 years, like taking money from our parents, saying we're going to Altitude, then getting together and like buying fucking weed. We would sometimes show up to Altitude after our parents dropped us off and then just leave and go buy fucking weed. And one of these kids had like an open house, basically like his dad didn't give a fuck. And so we were like 13, 14-year-olds just going to this kid's house, buying weed, smoking there, doing dumb shit, being up to like 5, 6 a.m., riding four-wheelers. And that was actually a cool experience. Yeah, he had this room, and it was just pothead fucking central inside there. Right? And we did a lot of fun shit, to be honest. We had a lot of good time with each other. We listened to music. The school I went to was like very racially diverse, so it's like a big group of us. There's white boys, there's black guys, there's Asian guys, all inside of our group. And we'd get together and we'd like rap and shit like that, or we would listen to beats and rap. And ride four-wheelers, like I said, and just honestly have some fun. And, this kid would throw parties at his house. And I remember around this time I also got my first, like, girlfriend, dude. I was, like, 13 years old with my first girlfriend. And yeah, she would come around with us sometimes to actually smoke weed and stuff like that. And the guy who owned this house that, allowed us to come over and smoke weed, him and my girl started to get along. And this is like the first time I got like cheated on, pretty much. I remember like I went through her phone when I was sleeping over at her house one night because I knew shit was up. And it comes out she was like texting other guys, and that was like my first heartbreak. I remember like sleeping over there one night and then just getting up and fucking leaving. Like literally, I believe I got up, left, and walked home. Like for an hour. It was like an hour fucking walk, dude. That shit really fucking hurt me, and it sent me even farther into that hole. And there was points in time where I was like trying to sell weed as well, trying to sell vapes and stuff like that. It was just like the common thing to do. And I just didn't give a fuck about school, man. There was days of which it's showing up. I was skipping. I would have like 40 to 50 missed days a year. And I was barely getting by in school and stuff like that. And, this goes on up until like I'm 15. And at 15 years old, man, this is when my parents finally like moved away from each other. So, right here, this is my grandparents' house where I currently live in. It was my grandparents' house. Now it's just me and my mom here. But my mom moved in here because her and my dad just weren't getting along, and my grandparents actually needed help, so she moved in here. And my dad also moved into a different house with a new family, in terms of like he got a new girlfriend who had kids. And so this actually put me into a different school district. So yeah, I was about 15, 16, 10th grade when I moved into a different school district. And this is kind of when I got away from all of that stuff. And this is when life kind of got weird, because I was moving, back and forth between both houses. And there was things I liked about my dad's house. There's things I liked about my mom's house. Here I was more provided for. My mom and my grandparents actually had money. On the other hand, my dad, when I would go over there, it'd kind of just be like I had a room. He didn't really give a fuck. Really didn't do much. Didn't have any fucking food in the house. But here there was like foods would get made. I could get money from my mom and stuff like that. And I think at 16, I think I had a car here and stuff like that. So I was just moving back and forth, still doing dumb shit with my life every single weekend. I still we had a smaller friend group in a while because, we kind of all broke up later on. So I was still smoking weed, drinking, going out to parties on the weekends. But it was around this time I also went through like another heartbreak. I think I was dating this girl for like a year almost, and this is when I moved schools. And so I was no longer going to my regular school. And come to find out, she texted me one day. She's like, hey, I have to tell you this. I have to get this off my chest. But me and my ex were actually kissing at school, pretty much. So this girl was dating this guy before I dated her. And she actually left him to date me. And everything was really good for 8 months. It was amazing. We were always hanging out, going out on dates. Her dad, did a lot of stuff with us. We even had to be my fucking dogs. We even went out to Cedar Point once. My mom took us out there. It was really good. And then about 8 months in, after I moved schools, yeah, she ended up cheating on me with this other guy, and that just broke my fucking heart, man. It really fucking did. And we never did anything in terms of sexual wise. We were just like we had a really good relationship for 8 years. We were dating, but we didn't fuck, I'll be honest. And we would have had plans we were gonna get married and stuff like that, because she was such a good girl, and I saw that, and she had a really good dad who cared about her, and etc. So I thought that was gonna happen, and then she fucking cheats on me. And I remember when I saw that, I was sitting in my room, and my heart just fucking sank. And it was the first time in my life I felt real heartbreak. The first one didn't hurt me that much. This one really fucking hurt me, man. And I just get this fire inside of me. And 2 weeks later, this is when I start to get into vices with women, because I was just fucking heartbroken. So I'll be honest, dude, I hit up this girl that wasn't that high quality of a woman, and we got together for 6 months, and that shit just became fucking toxic. Because it was like a rebound, it was like a get back. And I really just got into fucking talking to toxic fucking women. Honestly, bro. It was really bad. Oh, it's fucking cold, dude. And so that I even got further into that lifestyle, man. When I was actually dating that girl, yeah, it got really fucking bad. I remember one night we were going out to, this is when I started to drive, so I was 16 years old. We were gonna go out to a party, and it was me driving. This is when I actually got my first car. So it was a 2006, 2008 or something, Acura Integra. It was a manual car. It was red. It had a loud exhaust on it. It was so cool, dude. It was so cool. And so this was like a week into me actually having my license and driving, right? So I got my own car. We're driving over to buy alcohol from somebody who could give us alcohol because we were going to go out to a party. I was driving. That girl I was dating was in the front seat. We had her friend in the back seat. I had my boy in the back seat, and she had her girlfriend in the back seat. And we just fucking rolled a fat blunt and smoked a fucking fat blunt, and I'm high as fuck driving, 16 years old, and I fucking end up running a red light, not even noticing it. Get into a car crash. It wasn't that bad. I was only driving like 30 miles per hour, so it wasn't bad. But I just remember that happening, the airbag in my face, and I'm like, what the fuck is this, dude? I just fucked up so fucking bad, bro. Fucking destroyed that car. Tried calling my mom, and she's like, fuck you. You can fucking go sleep at your dad's. She didn't even give a fuck. She was like, figure it out on your own, Ryan. And yeah, that was bad that night, so I had to go fucking, I forgot where I slept that night. I think I slept at her house. I think that's what happened. Because I know I got kicked out of my mom's house after that happened. So that whole night didn't end up as planned, bro. And so I went to sleep at her house, and I think I spent like a whole week at her house. Her parents were driving me to school just because my fucking mom didn't want me home. And I don't know what was up with my dad either. But I think I eventually had to go to my dad's as well. I remember I still have the Snapchat video of me like looking at all the tickets I got and the paperwork. But I was honestly traumatized by the experience. You know, getting into a car crash, feeling like I fucked up. And it just felt like my life was a fucking mess. You know, I was addicted to weed. I was addicted to vaping, even drinking. In this relationship with this girl that, was just so fucking bad. Holy shit, dude. It's fucking cold. I might have to go get I'm gonna have to get a fucking hoodie, bro. Hold on. Okay. We're back. A little bit warmer. I don't know if you can see that. But literally smoke coming out of my mouth. Anyways, yeah, so that whole situation happened where I crashed that car, and I just went down a really bad spiral mentally, because, you know, parents are separated, I'm moving between houses, I'm lost in life, I'm not sure what's going on, I have no good role models, you know, my dad didn't really give a fuck, he kind of just like, after we split apart the family, he kind of just really stopped caring. Not in like a bad way, like stopped loving me, but he just like, you're a man now kind of, Ryan, figure it out on your own. You know, he didn't really put any pressure on me. He actually found out I was like smoking weed since like 13, so he was like, all right, you're a man now, you can figure it out on your own. I'm not going to try to discipline you anymore. And then my mom, on the other hand, well, it's just like, it's a mother. You know, most mothers aren't really the best at disciplining their child. So I just had like no fucking boundaries, man. I had no good role models, you know? And so I just went down the spiral, dude. Because after that car crash happened, like I said, I was just kind of traumatized. I was lost in life. And my sister at the time, she was actually living here. So my sister, her whole life, she was just a badass, bro. She was a badass, you know, in terms of like, she was down the route I was down, but way farther. You know, she was doing the same shit I was doing when she was young, because she had no guidance either in terms of parents. And at the time, she was, you know, 6, 7 years older than me. She would have been, 21, 22. And she was getting into like pills and stuff like that, dude. Like Xanax, Percocets, cocaine, crazy shit, right? And so I remember after this car crash happened, she actually gave me a Xanax. She was like, try it out, Ryan. And I remember taking the Xanax, you know, a week after kind of this whole situation happened. And I got fucking hooked. To give you a little backstory, though, actually, this is also when I moved in that new school. And, like, the first week I made a new friend group. And, of course, I made a friend group with, like, the same kids I made a friend group with at the other school. It was just the druggies. It was the guys who were smoking weed, partying every single weekend, etc. Not really the most disciplined guys who had the best things going for them. And so, yeah, I remember leaving school one day, and I was like, it's a Friday night, and I'm going to my friend's house, and I decided to take my first fucking Xanax there. And I remembered it just hitting me, and I felt like numb. It felt so good. I felt so high. I felt amazing, bro. And then my friend was like, yo, I want to try one. So, literally get my sister to pick us up. We go to the city. We buy a bunch of Xanaxes. We bring them back to my fucking friend's house. And, yeah, we're like fucking popping them all like candy. And then we get into that shit for like months. Months, dude. Doing fucking dumb shit. I can't even remember, because if you ever take a Xanax, you don't remember what you fucking do. Like, it literally fucks you up so much, dude. Like, fuck. Like a good joke I heard about Xanax is like, you could go to a Walmart, steal a PS4, and convince like the security guard that he's stealing a PS4. Like, you just become a fucking dumbass on it, bro. And so I don't remember much of what happened, but I just remember we were just fucking popping Xanaxes, doing dumb shit, bro. And I eventually broke up with that girl because that shit wasn't going well. And yeah, I was going to fucking school of Xanaxes. And I remember the one time, vivid moment in my mind where I knew I was fucked up in life is when I was sitting in English class. I was off of Xanax. I just went to the bathroom and I hit like a weed cart from somebody, you know, because the bathroom, it's the spot to fucking vape. It's the spot to get fucking high back in high school, man. So I go in there, I hit this fucking cart. I get so fucking high. I'm off of Xanax and I'm trying to read past the first word of this fucking like assignment or book or something like that, like this textbook. And I'm literally just staring at it like this for like, it felt like an hour. Because she was like, okay, guys, you have to read this chapter of the textbook. Whole class goes quiet, and I'm trying to read it, bro. And I fucking can't. I can't read past the first word. I read the first word, I go to the second, and I'm like, wait, what did the first one say? And I read it again, then I go to the second, I'm like, wait a minute, what did the first one say? And then I just sit there, and I look up, and I'm like, dude, I'm fucked. And I think I laid my head down and went to fucking sleep, honestly. And another point I knew was really bad is because, again, I was popping Xanaxes before school for like 2 months straight, just because I felt so lost in life, and I felt so like depressed because I crashed this car, and like I felt bad for my mom and my sister, and you know, just letting my family kind of fucking down. And I remember it was one morning I was coming out the bathroom, and I actually got my other friend, you know, my close friend that I met at that new school into Xanax as well. You know, we became best friends, okay? I remember coming out the bathroom, and this school has stairs, okay? There's 3 levels to it. And I look down the hallway, and there's like the stairwell. And I see him, he waves at me, he turns to go walk down the stairs, and he fucking falls. Like, bro falls down a whole flight of stairs because he was zanned out. And literally, I laugh at it, don't even check on him, and go to my class. Because I was just fucking fucked up off Xanax. I thought it was fucking funny. Come to find out, like, he almost got expelled from fucking school, but his parents had to basically come in and be like, oh yeah, he was just trying out a new medication. His parents had no clue what the fuck happened. But they're like, yeah, he's just trying out a new medication, don't worry about it. And so he had to stop popping them, and I'm like, dude, I gotta stop popping these bitches as well. And so I tried to stop popping them, and I just remember having such bad withdrawals where I felt like I was literally gonna fucking pass away at school. It was so bad, dude. So bad. Oh. And, you know, eventually I got out of that phase, and I'm trying to, this is the point where, like, I realized my life was fucked. It was fucked. And I would have been, like, probably 17 at the time. Again, I'm still, like, going through different relationships and stuff like that. I went through so many throughout these years, I can't even really remember you. I would tell you, I just know I was, like, relationship hopping from woman to woman, trying to fill some type of void inside of me, man. It was just really bad. You know, I would break up with one, next week find another. And it wasn't like we were exactly dating, but we were just, like, trying to fill each other's, like, voids is the best way to put it. So, I believe around this time I decided to fully move in with my mom. I think things didn't work out with my dad around this time and that new woman. And so that family moves out and he's in this house all alone. So I just decided to fully move in with my mom because she allowed me back in the house. But there was a lot of turmoil that also went on around that time, you know, when she found out I was popping Xanax and stuff like that. It was bad, dude. There was one times where like we were getting in an argument. She said she was gonna call the cops on me, and I literally fucking ran out my window and ran away. I literally walked an hour to one of this girl's house that night. So fucking bad, man. I was just so fucking lost. But speed it up. Um, yeah, I'm still being a loser for a while, but not as bad, to be quite honest with you. And the virus hits and school shut down. This would have been in like 2020, so I would have been 17 years old at this time. So fast forward about a year, the virus hits, and pretty much for 6 months, all I do is play video games, But what ends up happening, dude? Yeah, so I'm in this other relationship with this other girl. And I remember one night I was at her house, and it was like 1:30 a.m. and I just wasn't feeling the vibe. So like I decided to leave, and I decided to go home. I don't know what was up. I just wasn't feeling it there. So I decided to leave. I decided to go home, and on my drive home, I get a text notification on my phone from this app called Life 360. And we had to get Life 360, me and my sister, because my mom didn't trust us. She didn't. After seeing all the bullshit we were fucking doing, she didn't trust us, so she always wanted to track us, see how fast we were going, etc. Because it gives you all the information. And so I get this text notification from Life 360, and it's my sister's phone. It's like, your sister's phone has detected a crash. She possibly crashed, dropped her phone, hit the brakes really hard or something. Give her a call to see if she's all right. So I'm giving her a call. No, like not picking up. I check her location, and she's like 30 minutes away, out in the sticks is the best way to call it. Sorry, guys, it was really fucking cold. And I called my mom, and I'm like, yo, should I go check on my sister, Krista? That's her name. I didn't say it like that, but I'm like, should I go check on Krista? And she's kind of like, I can hear her like smoking a cigarette, kind of like going back and forth. She's like, yeah, go check on her. I'm kind of worried. I don't know what happened. And so I drive 30 minutes out there to the sticks. And as I'm coming over this hill, right, I'm on this street. And according to like Google Maps, I had to take one right down this street to go see where her location was at. And so I come over this hill, and I see like a fire truck or like an ambulance or something shutting down like the street. Like there was this bright light on the trees because it was pitch black out. It was like out in the sticks. There's this bright light, and I see the fire truck. I pull up, and there's undercover cops and stuff like that, and there's cops, and a detective comes up to me, and he's like, what's going on here? I'm like, my sister's here. Like, is everything all right? What's going on? And they're like, yeah, a crash happened. So like they take an hour to verify that like I'm her brother and stuff like that. And I'm sitting there on the phone with my mom for like an hour or two. And eventually the detective comes up to me, and he's like, hey, we're going to follow you home. And my mom's on the phone, and she hears that, and she's like, she just fucking weeps, dude. She cries. She's like, Ryan, your sister just fucking died. And so I drive 30 minutes fucking home, not knowing like what to think. And I'm just trying to clear my thoughts, clear my fucking mind, man. Not trying to think about it. I get home, man. This garage door right here that I'm looking at was open, and my mom was standing there, and I get out, the detective gets out, he comes to my mom, verifies everything, and he's like, yeah, Krista passed away this night in a car crash. And she fucking breaks down crying on her fucking knees on the floor, and she couldn't believe it, and I couldn't believe it, and it was just like, what the fuck? At the time, my sister was 25. She had a kid that was 7 years old at the time. That kid's still around. That's my niece. And so that whole fucking night happens. We found out she passed away, and what ended up happening is she got a new car that week of. So she was in and out of rehab because, one of her boyfriends got her into doing heroin. One of the boyfriends she was dating at the time was a heroin addict, and he got back into it, and he got her into it. And so it was like her 5th overdose on fucking heroin, man. And so we finally brought her back home because she was living with that boyfriend. And my mom was like, you gotta stop talking to that guy. Like, you're gonna fucking kill yourself, man. And so we brought her home from the hospital like a month before. And she gets a new job. She gets a new car. And she wants to go out and celebrate kind of like her new car. But she ends up fucking drinking that night. and trying to drive this fucking guy home, and ends up fucking crashing into a fucking tree, man. At like 75 miles per hour, maybe even faster. And she crashed into a tree on the left side, so the whole fucking left side of her car was just fucked, dude. It was fucked, dude. I still have the photos of it. I even saw the photos of like blood dripping down the car, bro. So fucking bad. But yeah. So what ended up happening that week is I just didn't know what to do, man. You know, I was laying in my room for like a week straight. For like 24 hours, 7 days a week, I heard my mom just fucking crying upstairs. She couldn't believe it. She was mourning. She would come down like every hour and just like freak out to me, not knowing what to do, etc. And she's coming to me because I'm like the only person there. You know, my grandma was here, but it's like, what the fuck's my grandma gonna do? I was like the only man in the household. I was my mom's only friend, really, to be honest. So she kept just coming down to me and dumping out all this fucking pain, dude, and it just hurt me, man. Seeing my sister pass away didn't really hurt me that bad because I honestly saw it coming. I saw it fucking coming, man. And, you know, I always wanted to help her, but I couldn't do anything. It's like this fucking 17, 18-year-old. And my mom saw it coming too, and she couldn't do anything. We always warned her, like, she's got to fix her shit, man, and get together, but she just couldn't get it together, man. And so, yeah, my mom was just in so much pain, and seeing my mom cry and go through that pain is what really fucking hurt me, dude. It's what really fucking hurt me, dude. I only cried that week when my mom was crying. Like, I didn't really cry at all, but I remember one time where I just fucking bust out into tears because I saw what my mom was going through, and that she had nobody, and it was like, fuck. And I always talk about this in my PR talks. A visualization that kept running through my mind is like, what would I thought in that last moment? You know, what would I be thinking to myself, man? And I kept just thinking about, like, if I was taking my last breath, would I be content with passing away at the moment? Would I be content with the life I live, man? Or would I would I be praying to God, begging to God, please give me one more day. Please give me one more fucking moment, man. And I realized in the moment, looking back at my life, that I was just, like, so far away with, like, what I wanted for my life. Like, I always had these dreams. I always had these ambitions of who I wanted to become. Ever since I was, like, 12 and 13 years old, I always knew I wanted to do bodybuilding. I always knew I wanted to do YouTube. I always knew I wanted to do social media. I always knew I wanted to create shit with my life and, like, fix all the problems I saw growing up. You know, drug addiction. My parents not getting along, having bad relationships, you know, not only seeing that bad relationship with my parents and my sister, but also in my life, you know, all these vices, it's just fucking addiction, man. This fucking shitty existence, really, to be quite honest with you. And I saw myself going down that same path with my sister, and I'm like, Ryan, you can't end up that way. You can't, bro. And I just made a commitment to myself that week that I'm going to be the fucking change. Because one thing my sister told me when I was like 12, 13 years old is I remember I was driving in the car. It was my dad, my sister over there, and me in the back. And she looks back and she's like, Ryan, we're a fucked up family and you're going to have to be the change. And I just remember it because she just instilled some type of belief in me at a young age that, like, I'm going to be the fucking golden goose of the family, that I'm going to be the change. And I remember, you know, remembering that memory, and I'm like, I gotta fucking make that shit happen now. You know, now that she passed away, dude, I gotta fucking use this pain as some type of power. Like, I gotta really fucking prove it to myself, to my family, and to her, and, like, make her fucking proud. Like, if she's looking down at me from heaven, I gotta make her fucking proud, man. And I also thought about her kid, and I'm like, her kid's gonna need, you know, some type of support, man. So I'm like, I'm just like, in my mind, I'm like, you gotta get your shit fucking together, man. You gotta be the fucking man. And so that week is when my life really fucking changed. That's when I started to get shit together. And it was a slow process, man. You know, I was still addicted to vaping. I think I quit weed around that time as well, but pretty much, I got away from everybody at that time, you know? I think me and my best friend at the time stopped talking. I was friends with him for about 6 years. He was the kid, a part of that friend group I met at 13 years old. So he, like, me and him kind of had just, like, we weren't really friends. We were just friends with the same drug type of shit. But we eventually stopped talking. And then I also broke up with that girl I was dating at the time. I told you how I left that girl's house that night my sister passed away. I broke up with her around that time as well, and so I just found myself really alone in life. And all I was doing is I actually graduated high school. So it was like 6 months after I graduated high school is when my sister passed away, and I got a job around this time working at Dick's Sporting Goods selling shoes. And so all I was doing with my day, man, is all I'm doing in my life at the moment is just going to work, coming home, and like watching self-improvement videos. Like trying to figure out what the fuck to do with my life. Because my mom, she was like depressed. I didn't like see her sometimes for fucking weeks because she was just sitting in her fucking room. She actually had to quit her job because she was taking care of my grandparents. So she actually quit her job like a year before all this happened. And so, like, I didn't see her for weeks. Dude, it was just such a lonely time in my life. Like, imagine coming home to a house after work that you don't see anybody in. There's nobody fucking here. My mom's in her room. My grandma's in her room. They don't fucking come out. They're both depressed because also my grandpa passed away, so my grandma's depressed. And it's just like, I'm so alone. I got no friends. I'm talking to no girls at the time, man. And I'm just working this job, dude. And I'm like, I had this big pain inside of me, man. This big pain, dude, that I didn't know how to fix. I didn't know what to do with it. But I just knew I needed to get better. I knew I needed to be the change and change my life, man. So I'm turning to people online to teach me how to change my life. A big one I remember is Hamza. I watched a lot of Alex Sedlak as well. So Hamza, Alex Sedlak, Iman Gadzi, And so I'm trying to get my life together. I'm trying to figure out like drop shipping. I'm trying to figure out business models and stuff and so on. And also around this, I did start hitting the gym like 6 months, maybe a year prior to this. During 2020, the summer of 2020 is when I started to hit the gym. So it would have been the summer before senior year. So the summer before senior year, when I was 17 years old, I started to hit the gym. So, my life just looked like going to work, hitting the gym, coming home, doing self-improvement. And that was it, bro. That was it for a long time, dude. Woo! Still fucking cold, dude. Anyways, I'd say about 6 months pass. And I meet this girl. I meet her at the club. I don't know what I was doing out at the club. But I meet her at the club, and we start talking. And this is like one of the first girls like I felt like that was out of my league, and like I fell in love with her. Honestly, I really did. And I felt like I was moving ahead in life, because I was on the self-improvement. I was trying to get my shit together. And I also still had this big void inside of me. And so, I fell in love with her, man. She was beautiful. She was awesome. She was kind of on that same self-improvement stuff. She was just an amazing girl all around. So we had a good thing going on for a while. But, eventually we start getting into arguments and into fights. And, yeah, again, just another good thing fucking ends. And that fucking sends me even more. That drives me even stronger, man. And so now, like, I got like 100,000 followers on TikTok, and I'm starting to get in really good shape. I'm maybe like 2 years into like the gym and self-improvement, and like a year into posting on TikTok, and I'm having all these good habits in my life. I'm having like a wake-up time. This is when I started journaling. So after my sister passed away is when I started journaling, when I started reading books. When I like cut Snapchat out of my life, and I really made a lot of the changes I talk to you guys about on this channel, and I tell everyone to make. I'm setting goals for myself and so on. And that breakup drives me even more, man. And now I'm at like 100,000 followers online, and eventually some guy reaches out to me on Instagram. It's like this old guy, and he kind of becomes my mentor, and he puts me into this group of other influencers online. So there's this old guy who was reaching out to a bunch of influencers at the time. I think he still does it. And basically, we hopped on like 1-hour calls with him every single week. And we would just talk about the shit we've been through. And he would help us out. He was like this 90-year-old who was, he's been through a lot of shit in his life. Military guy. He used to be a counselor in the military. So he was just really good with helping out men with their problems. And so he helped me a lot. He helped me a lot out during that time. Not only because I got to talk to him, but he put me in this group of influencers. And a couple months into this group, he decided to take us all down to Houston, Texas, to Elfland. And so this is my first experience being in like the fitness industry, right? I'm at this famous gym during this week where everyone flies down to come meet each other. And I see like all these influencers. I meet all these people in real life, and like I just decided, like, I want to go all in on fitness, you know? I'm like, this shit's dope, dude. I met a bunch of people my age who were like 100,000 followers online, who had brand deals, who had supplement sponsors, who were blowing up online. And so I get back from that trip and I'm like, I'm going all in on fitness. So I start getting in better shape, and like 3 months after that, I get my first supplement sponsor, because that trip took me from like 5,000 followers on my Instagram to like 30,000, right? Because I start going all in on posting online, like posting my physique. And even though I didn't look insane at the time, I started to gain some traction just because I learned how to grow my TikTok from 0 to 100,000 followers just through repetitions. And a lot of what I posted was just like relationship advice. It was just like comfort videos, right? It was just like those cringe sounds with like text over it, relationship stuff and stuff like that. But I gained a following off it, and I was going live every single day. And so I just took those same, principles and applied it to my Instagram, and I was posting on a day-to-day basis. And yeah, I ended up growing my account. I get a supplement sponsor from Alphaline, and I got like my first supplement sponsor, dude. I'm like, dude, I'm moving up ahead in life. Like, this is great, dude. I'm actually like achieving something. And so I really found this like new path in the fitness industry, right? And so I go all in on fitness, man. And what ends up happening is I get in another relationship, bro. I know it's such a recurring theme. I get into another, and at the time I'm working this job flipping burgers. So I would have been 19 or 20 years old. I forget exactly. This would have been 2 years ago. So I would have been about 19, maybe 20. Because I'm 21 now. I'm flipping burgers at this job, 6:30 a.m. or 5:30 a.m. actually, until like 2:30 every single day. I'm dating this girl. I got some traction online, and everything was going well with her. She was a gym girl, and again, kind of fell in love with her because I was like, hot gym girl. This is amazing. We're hanging out. We're going on good dates. She's into me. I'm into her. And then one day I go to the gym she goes to, because she went to a different gym than me. And I'm working out there with one of my boys. And of course I tell him, like, yo, dude, I got this new girlfriend. Like, look at her. I show him a photo, and he's like, wait, you're dating her? And I'm like, yeah, we've been dating for 3 months. He's like, bro. And right then my heart drops. I'm like, no, don't tell me something. Don't. He's like, dude, she was just in here the other week working out with another dude. And I'm like, what? So I text her. I confront her. She sends me texts, because I'm like, send me the fucking text or we're done. She sends me texts between this guy, and yeah, they're like flirting over text, and I think she deleted some of them. So, pretty much got fucking cheated on again. And that one really heartbroke me, because again, dude, like, I felt like I tried to do something with myself. I tried to become better. I cut out vaping at the time. I wasn't vaping anymore. I wasn't smoking. I quit that shit. I finally have like a good physique. I have a good thing going for me online. I'm working a full-time job. Like, I'm doing everything to like achieve the success I wanted in life, man. I wanted a good relationship, man. I wanted success, dude. I wanted to be proud of myself and like had a good direction in life. And then this ends up happening. It's just like another fuck you from the universe is what it felt like. So that shit. Oh, I remember that night that I on the phone, I'm like, yep, we're done. Hang up. I remember, dude, I was just shivering with heat, with rage, bro. It was like 2 a.m. after talking to her for hours, man. Trying to figure out why she did this, man. And I had to go into work the next day at 5:30 a.m. But, yeah, I just couldn't sleep that fucking night because I was so fueled with rage. And I go into work that next day, flipping fucking burgers once again, just holding back tears and rage, man. And I decided to quit that job that week. I told her I was leaving, the boss that I was leaving. And I didn't know what I was going to do, but again, I was just stuck in life, man. I was like, I got to make a fucking change, dude, because what I'm doing isn't working out. So I left that job, man, and I've left 3 jobs throughout this period of time I've been talking about, and I was trying to, like, go full-time online, because I had all these followers. I just couldn't figure out how to make money. But I kept trying to, like, I kept failing and failing and failing, right? I'd quit a job and be like, okay, I have followers. I'm going to go all in. I'm going to build this business. I'm going to make money. Every time I'd fail. Every time my bank account would go to 0, and I had to start living off my mom once again. And so I'd have to get another job. I would try it again. And I just couldn't figure out how to fucking make money on my own and in my own business. So I quit that job. I'm like, you got to figure this shit out, fucking Ryan. Fuck. You've been on self-improvement for like a year and a half. You've been trying to figure out how to make money, get out of jobs. And some days I would wake up with such big anxiety inside of me because I'm like, dude, you have to become successful. You have to make your sister proud. You have to do something. You're not going to college. You're simply just a fucking dumbass. Do something with yourself. Like, you have to become successful on your own. So I quit that shit and I'm like, okay, I have this following online, man. What is the one thing I'm missing? I'm missing some type of skill. I only have followers because I shared relatable shit. I had no skill. So I decided to do my first bodybuilding show. Because first off, I was kind of fat at the time. I gained a lot of weight because I was like bulking. Really, I was just like sad with my life. So I was just eating so much food. I was like 200 pounds at the time, but just like fat. Not super fat. Like I still had maybe some visible abs, but like I definitely had too much body fat. So I'm like, I gotta get in good shape, especially if I want to be in the fitness industry. So I hired a coach and I decided to do a bodybuilding show. And I completely fucking lock in. Like, this is the first time in my life I actually really fucking locked in. All the other times I was half-assing shit. But this time, like, I had this really big goal to work towards and I was so locked in. So fucking locked in on doing the show. I had such a consistent routine. I was waking up at 4 every single day. I ended up getting another job a couple months after because, again, I was going broke. So I was like, gotta get another job. I got a job at the mall selling sunglasses. And I'm working towards this show. I'm waking up at 4. I'm going to work at 9. It was a part-time, so I was getting out at like maybe 1 or 4 o'clock some days. It really depended on the schedule. Then I would hit the gym, and I would record content. That's what my day-to-day life was like. I even had some old videos on my Instagram of like day in the life of self-improvement. You can go watch my day-to-day life. It's all online. There's even some videos on this YouTube channel. I'm getting in the best shape. My Instagram blew up from like 30,000 to 130,000 followers in this time. And I go do that show, and I'm just like at such a high vibration in life. I like really fucking changed my life throughout this time. Because that breakup really set me once again. And this is the time I always talk about where I cut dating out for a year. After that breakup happened, like that's when I like once again deleted Snapchat because I re-downloaded it. I deleted all dating apps. And I was just like, fuck this dating shit. This is the first time I actually broke my cycle of going from relationship to relationship to relationship. The first time I actually broke that cycle. So I'm just like, fuck girls at the moment. Fuck all this shit. I'm just focusing on me. All of my energy every single day was just being poured into myself, changing my life, and just like everything I knew I needed to become and do for myself. Cut all the distractions out, focus on this goal. And right when I got done with my show, people are hitting me up. They're like, dude, get me in shape, man. Like, I want to make a transformation like you. So I'm like, I see an opportunity to start coaching. So I start my coaching business. First month it makes like 1,200. Next month it makes like 25. Month after that, 35. Then I'm hitting 4K months, 5K, 6K, 7K months, dude. A couple months after. And so I'm coaching for like 3 or 4 months. I think it was about 4 months. And I'm still working that part-time job. And I have some money in my bank account for the first time. I think I had like 10 grand. And I've never had more than $1,000 in my bank account. Like, I would get paid for my job and I would get like 2 grand, but it would be gone in like a fucking week. I don't know what the fuck. But first time in my life I have money in my bank account. And so I'm able to quit that job, and I'm like, you gotta do something with this money. Like, you're doing good on social media, do something. So I'm like, let's go to Thailand. Part of the reason I want to go to Thailand is just because I was feeling really stuck here back at home. I didn't want to be here anymore. And I just wanted to go out and travel. And honestly, I just wanted to get away. Like, there was something inside of me every single day that I was like, I just want to fucking get away. So I booked this 2-month trip to Thailand, and I go to Thailand. I traveled Thailand for 2 months, and I have YouTube videos out there. It was pretty cool. And this was also a pivotal point in my life because it was like the first time I was on my own for 2 months. I was far away from home in a completely different country, meeting people. I even met the editor that edited Hamza's videos. So Hamza was the main YouTuber, the main influence that changed my life. Like, I watched every single one of his videos for years when I was going through all that bullshit, and he allowed me to change my life, and I met his editor. His name is Sam Harbone. I hit him up when I was out in Thailand. I'm like, yo, let's get together. I got together with him for a workout, and it just mind fucked me that I met the editor of the videos that changed my fucking life. And like that just instilled some type of deep belief, some type of deep inspiration in me. It's like a full circle moment that like the person that helped change your life, you're now meeting him and getting a workout in with him. Then we got in a meal after, and it was just like, it was insane, dude. It was like so cool, and I'm traveling on my own, running my own business, and I'm still being successful out there. And it's just like, dude, I was like, dude, you finally fucking did something. Let's go. And so that was honestly amazing. And I ended up going back home because I got sick of Thailand. And when I got back home, I'm like, all right, we got to set a new goal. And I decided, like, I want to become a pro bodybuilder. So I went all in on bodybuilding. I bulked up, got super fucking massive. I'm still working with my coach. And, this would have been the beginning of this year, 2024. We're coming to the end of the year now. So what does 2024 look like? I get back home. I do a 6-month bulk. Me and my coach outline. We're going to do a show around October this year. So we set up a 6-month bulk, like a 4-month cut. And I start going after that. And yeah, I'm still just running coaching, posting content. And, I'm at a point in my life now where like I'm kind of at a level of success I always wanted to be at. It was really cool. And then, I go through that whole bulk, and life's just, like, really mundane at the time. I'm just, like, doing the shit I need to do to be consistent in business and et cetera every single day, and just, like, a really consistent life for 6 months. Not really growing much, but also not, like, falling off at all. Just being really consistent. And that's all I could do when I was, like, really focused on bodybuilding. But, yeah, I built a really cool physique throughout those 6 months, and then I cut down. And when I kind of started around my cut, I also met another girl, and this is my recent breakup. And yeah, talk about that one, dude. It was the first girl I dated for like a year and a half, because like I said, I cut out the dating for a long time. I didn't talk to any woman, and I met her, and once again, I fell in love with her, man. I did, because she was awesome. She was amazing. Just didn't end up fucking working out. I was 21, she was 18, so I think she was just too young. I don't think she was ready to date, and I pressured her a lot to date, and it just didn't work out. And she also moved away to college, so yeah, that didn't work out. But yeah, I do a show that was like a month and a half ago down in Houston, Texas. I came in second in that show, which was cool. The first show I ever did was down in Houston, Texas as well. I came in 8th. So this time I came in second, so I improved a lot. And I was going to do another show after that, but, just some complications came up. Couldn't do it. Had to drop out of prep. And now I'm bulking up again. But yeah, now where life is at is, yeah, dude, I run a successful coaching business. I collected 10K this month, but I would have, if everything was fully paid, it would have been like 11, 12K. 300,000 followers online now, and I just really know where I want to go in life, who I want to be, and I've overcame all my vices, man, and I follow a structured daily routine every single day. I'm flying down to Miami next week to actually check out if I want to go live there. I'm going to be flying to some cities, before the end of the year, just to see which city I want to go move to, because 2025 I want to move. I bought my dream car this year. This is a 2020 Dodge Challenger Scat Pack. One of my dream cars. I have a lot of dream cars, but I love this car. This car is absolutely amazing. And so, yeah, my main focus now is just growing my YouTube channel, really become the best coach ever. I recently hired a business mentor, and he's helped me just really kill at my coaching. Like, my coaching has just became so much fucking better, dude. So much fucking better. And so, dude, that's what I do with my life now. I just work with clients. I help them hit a handsome PR and destroy limiting beliefs. So, handsome PR is to get physically jacked, to get mentally handsome, right? To overcome your limiting beliefs and create a mindset for you that's like amazing, that works for you and allows you to accomplish all your goals. And we nail down their habits, we nail down their mindset. And some of them I'm helping to grow their social media as well, and my one-on-one mentorship. Yeah, I'm just working with people one-on-one towards their goals every single day and helping them do exactly what I did. Because, you heard my story, man. I'm just a kid who came from nothing, who went through a lot of bullshit, and I shouldn't be here. Nobody in my family was a good role model, dude. Like, honestly, nobody in my family gave me the fucking direction. I had to figure this shit all on my own. And it's been 3 years now. It's been 3 years since I decided to make that change, right? 18 years old is when my sister passed away, and I decided I need to make that change. And now I felt like I've made that change. And again, I'm so far away from who I want to be and what I want to do with my life. But like, I'm on the fucking path towards success now. And as long as I don't fuck up, I'm going to make it all happen. Like, I know for a fact I can just see it because the habits are in place. The mindset's in place. Now the only thing I have to do is just simply be patient, you know, because success lags behind you. So all I have to do is be patient, but I know I'm on the path. And I make this video because some of you may have gone through similar things. Some of you may be in that same exact position I was when I was 13, when I was 15, when I was 18 even maybe. You know, you may be going through all the breakups. You may be going through all the heartbreaks. You may be struggling with the certain vices I struggle with. You may be struggling with relationship hopping. You may be struggling to make that change. And the main thing that turned me around was just realizing that fucking tomorrow is not promised. And you need to make the fucking change today. Because, again, when my sister passed away and I ran that visualization through my mind, if I passed away, would I be happy with the life I was living? Or would I be like, fuck, God, give me one more day, please. Give me one more day, please. And that's when I got this tattoo of the day she passed away. Because what this means to me is live today like it's your last, but prepare for success tomorrow. Meaning, do everything to become successful tomorrow, right? To become the version you want to be, like the best version of yourself. Do that shit today. Don't put it off. Don't allow distractions. Don't allow vices. Don't allow your mind to fucking hold you back. Just do what is required of you to make that fucking change. So live today like it's your last, but not in the party type of way, etc. That's why I say prepare for success tomorrow. That's what she really taught me, is if you want to make that change, you got to make it fucking today. You can't keep making excuses and putting off, because I guarantee my sister had dreams like that as well. I guarantee she wanted to become a better version of herself. But I guarantee she only put it off because she thought she had more life to live. Come to find out, she woke up on a Friday, didn't know she was going to fucking die that night. You know? And I don't know that shit either. Today could be my last day. This could be my last video. And I don't even know it, man. So it's like, I'm going to do everything in my power today to achieve my goals so that if I get in a car crash later on today and I'm taking my last breath, I can say to myself with 100% conviction that I was doing everything to achieve the goals, my desires in life, man. And that's why I make these videos. As you can tell now, if you can't tell by my story, that's why I make these videos. That's why I'm trying to lead this movement of young men to become better versions of themselves. Not only so they can overcome all the bullshit and start achieving their dreams, but just because so they can become a good man, dude. Because my biggest goal in life is just to be a good father and husband, right? And it's just like, the reason I want to do that is because what destroyed my sister is her masculine figures in her life. Her dad beat her when he was young. He was in and out her life. He wasn't a good father figure. Her boyfriends destroyed her because they're little fucking bitch skinny noodles that were addicted to vices, and they got her addicted to that shit as well. It was men that destroyed her. Seriously, men should be protecting and guiding women. Yet men are just so fucking weak. They're so fucking weak. That's why I'm so motivated every single day to make these changes, because I need to better men so that I can also better women. Because I care so much about women. People always like, why do you still live at home at 21? Dude, I could go fucking put a down payment on my house if I wanted to. I live here because I care about my mom. When I was in Thailand, there was something scary that almost happened. I won't go exactly into it, but I care about her so much and I don't want her to do anything dumb to herself. So I've been trying to help her get a job again and kind of wean off alcohol and smoking. And she actually got a job recently, so I'm helping her get back better on track because, you know, she's been really depressed from my sister passing away and et cetera the past couple of years. So that's why I still live here, just to take care of her and make sure she's good. Because I care so much about, you know, everybody and especially women. But I think the only way to make the change I want to see in the world is to change men. And that comes down to changing myself. And that's why I do the coaching as well. Because that's my way to influence the world. I believe if I can influence, you know, if I can change a couple of people's lives every single year, you know, because it takes 3 to 6 months to make a change. If I could change a couple of people's lives every single year, that will cause a butterfly effect on so many people, right? So that's why I do that. You know, that's my main mission. So really, I'm just chasing my bodybuilder goals. I'm helping out people become the best version of themselves as well. And yeah, dude, fuck. Woo! It's fucking cold out here, guys. Woo! But that's basically my life story, man. You know, of course, there's a lot of small details. I probably missed out on a lot of small things I didn't go into. But those are just the big moments that really stuck out to me. You know, it was just a lot of pain I turned into power. There's a lot of things I had to overcome. But at the end of the day, man, don't wait to reach rock bottom to make that change. You know, take what happened to my sister and try to visualize what I went through. You know, try to feel what I went through, because I guarantee you that shit will fucking drive you, man. It really fucking will. All right, guys, that's all I got to say about this. We'll make a part 2 someday here in the future, but it's fucking cold out here, so I'm gonna go inside. All right, peace out.